Hello, everyone. Welcome to Learn From Us podcast. I'm Seth Kirchanen, the handsome, debonair, charismatic.
Do you know what debonair means too?
I don't know if I said it right. What does it mean?
Did you look up what term were you saying?
Haphazardly.
Haphazardly.
It must be like without.
Without hazard?
Yeah, without like.
Hazard, no, with it. I don't know.
This is Paul Gabrail. Not Spanish. You're not Spanish.
I'm not.
You could be though. You get that a lot.
Yeah, I've gotten Mexico. I've gotten Spain. I've gotten Greece, Lebanese. Nobody really gets the right country.
It's Iraq.
Yes.
That's not really an Iraqi name.
My original name was Nihal.
Oh my God, that's right.
And then when we came to the U.S., I changed my name to Paul.
How do you spell that?
Nihal.
Imagine if your name was still Nihal Gabe. What is it?
Nihal Gabriel. I don't know what I would be
Nihal?
thinking. Yeah, people would be like, "Yo, what's up, Nihal?" What would my nickname be?
Paul?
Yeah, Paul. Nihal. It's short for Paul. Wait, what?
OJ Simpson did it, right?
I'm so obsessed. You know, it's been 25 years.
Has it?
25 years in June. He committed those. Oh, he allegedly committed those murders. I watched. Did you ever see the FX show?
You mean
The People versus OJ Simpson?
From start to finish?
I've seen it 3 times now.
Oh, really?
I just watched it again last week. There's only one episode I skip. I hate the episode where they're with the jurors in the hotel and all that stuff. That's just the worst episode. But I don't know why I'm so obsessed with this trial. Still to this day, this man, I don't know what the reason is. He got away with murder, and now he's on Twitter. And, you know, Don was just showing us some video on Twitter. He's got like 15,000 likes and like 9,000 retweets. And I'm like, if there was some random average person, he said that person committed murder and got away with it, people would be like, oh, I don't want to be around that guy. But now it's like people flock to him and say, hey, take me a picture with you. Take my picture with you. Let me take a picture with you. You know what I mean? It's so
Dude,
weird.
It's not even just the murder. I mean, it's the memorabilia and the taking people hostage, and
which I do believe he was
prison.
Punished above and beyond just because of who he was. Yeah. But at the same token, some might say, well, he got away with murder, Paul. And I look at them as totally separate. He was acquitted by a jury of his peers. You can't let that affect the future. But at the same token, I can't believe this guy is like imagine being the Goldmans and the Browns, and
I can't even.
I saw some interview once where
Go on.
Goldman's sister.
Yes, she's a big,
She was driving and she saw him in a parking lot by himself. And it was either Goldman's sister or Brown's. I don't remember. One of the sisters was like, I saw him there. And I'm like, I could literally run him over right now. And imagine like this guy was, I mean, listen, never say for sure, but yeah, he committed those murders. I mean, that's the only thing that confuses me is, how did he get a injury on his finger that was bleeding, yet there's no incisions on the gloves or anything like that? That's the only thing I look at going, oh, that's kind of a weird one. But either way.
What did they find? When you go back and listen to the evidence, I mean, there's blood all over his cars, all the way up into his house.
Everywhere, like literally a trail of blood there, gloves. I mean, everything is incredible. How it's just, there's people who've overheard him admitting to it. Like in jail, there was a jailhouse confession that didn't allow. Obviously, they didn't allow him to.
Yeah.
I'm not saying obviously, but I mean, yeah, he did it. You know, when they called him and said your wife's been murdered, he didn't say what happened. He was just like, oh wow, that's awful. You know, he was just like, that's terrible. Your wife's dead. He didn't ask like how or anything like that. I mean, that's not circumstance. I don't know what the word is, but that's not evidence. It's just. Sure. You know, if somebody called me right now and said, hey, Seth just died, I'd be like, holy shit, what happened?
What's going to happen to the podcast?
Finally, we can get some talent in this place.
Dude, he's referred to himself as a talent. We were watching Groundhog Day last night.
You watched it last night?
Oh, Beth, I'm trying to get Beth on it. She's never seen the whole thing.
Oh, that's right.
Keep telling her it's a beautiful romantic.
It is a romantic movie.
Yeah, I can't get over the OJ stuff too. I remember, was it like this? We probably weren't in the same room.
I was in biology.
Okay. But in 1994,
Five was when the
spring
verdict.
of 95.
No, October of 95.
Oh, okay, when they read the verdict.
Yes.
But our school, like...
Everything... They said... I was reading something on the internet recently where they said something like $475 million worth of productivity was lost. They said Domino's Pizza didn't report a single order of pizza in the entire country while the verdict was being read. The entire country. Domino's Pizza announced we didn't have a single order of pizza the entire country in that time period that the verdict was read.
Yeah, I mean they wheeled out TVs in our.
Ours was the audio. We had the recording. We had radio.
Oh, we had TV. We had a TV set up
Whose
somewhere.
class were you in?
Jerry Reardon.
Oh, of course, Jerry Reardon had a TV.
God love him.
Yeah, God love him. I'm surprised he even showed up to class that day. I'm just kidding. I love Mr. Reardon. He was a great guy.
Great.
He's awesome.
He's a football. He was a football coach.
Yeah.
So he had definitely his mind on football.
Yeah. Now he's the dean of students for the men, for the boys.
Yeah. But I mean, like, everything shut down. It was Spanish class, I think, and everything shut down.
For me, it was bio. I remember somebody saying the juice is loose, baby, and I was just like, I remember like hearing the screams in the hall, going, "What?" Like everybody was just like floored, because it was 4 hours of deliberation. 4 hours. That's all he deliberated for. Was 4 hours.
Kidding.
No, don't you remember that?
No.
I remember back then and seeing the show, but I remember back then I was like, oh, he's definitely being found guilty. Then there's no way with this much evidence that 4 hours comes to an acquittal. There's no way. And I was a freshman in high school, but thought I was a big shot.
Do you remember what the first numbers were like when the jurors first went back? Was it a big switch? Did they?
So according to the show, it was one person voted guilty, and the rest all voted not guilty. And eventually they just got, or maybe it was two. I think it was one. And they eventually, and I think that person probably like, I'm not. I've already been here for 8 months, 9 months. I am leaving. And if it's like, it's just whatever. And the best part is all the jurors said, yeah, we think he did it, but we don't think the prosecution gave enough evidence.
True. I mean,
but they said that they don't think the prosecution proved it beyond a reasonable doubt. It's like, really? Like, come on. What else did you need? I don't know why I want to talk about this. It just fascinates me beyond belief. This OJ. The whole thing. Here's a guy who was a god to people at USC, the NFL. He had such a temper. He had all these things that were just bad. He pretty much commits these murders. So I'm thinking to myself, like, what state of mind does he have to be in where he just goes, yep, this is what I'm going to do right now. Like, he didn't go to that house to sit there and go, I'm just going to see how she's doing with a knife and a knit cap and all these things, like, and gloves. I mean, there was intention there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's.
And then now he gets out, by the way, and he's completely ostracized by his friends for the vast majority. Like, I think I said something like him and Kardashian like barely spoke. I mean, their relationship went to nothing afterwards. But then there's other people who are just like, OJ, let me get a picture. I mean, he's treated like a god. It's like this guy committed to a double homicide.
What if he didn't?
Yeah, I know. What if he didn't? You know, he wrote that book, right?
What was it called? If I Did It?
If I Did It. And by the way, where did he go for his honeymoon? Manzanillo, Mexico, with her.
One of the 6 bedrooms in your home?
No,
upstairs?
It was Las Hadas Hotel, the one next door. But the funny thing is, in the book, he calls it Manzanilla, Mexico. It's not Manzanilla.
Manzanilla.
It's Manzanillo. But he went to Las Hadas Hotel. And Joaquin, whose birthday is today, by the way, Joaquin says he met him back then.
He's a friend of yours in Mexico.
Yes, he's the builder. He said he met him when he was out there. Yeah, he's like, I remember being introduced to this guy that like he's a very famous football player in the States. Former football player.
I mean, do you think he thought he could get away with it? Because it was so gruesome too.
So I read a book a few years. I don't think I finished the book. It's called The Murderer Next Door. It talks about how everybody's capable of murder in some fashion.
You and I?
Yeah. I mean, listen, you're telling me that you wouldn't murder for your kids? I know people would say, oh, it's not really murder. You ever remember in Wayne's World, why is it when somebody why is it when somebody kills a man in the heat of battle, it's considered heroic, but in the heat of passion, it's considered murder? Wait a second. He's like, that's Al Bundy from Youngstown, Ohio. But anyway, I don't know. I mean, they had the witness. The lady said she saw OJ and she pointed out his car and had the license plate correct within 1 digit. Fleeing from the scene. He almost ran into her and said, like, get out of my way, bitch. And she's like, that's OJ. And then later when the murder happened, was announced, she went to the cops and said, this is the license plate I saw, and it was off by 1 digit. Huh. Off by 1 digit.
I don't even think I know my license plate.
I don't know my license plate at all. 0. I think 1 is HAB. That's all I know is it's like HAB.
No, I would have assumed for the one car that you don't even like me to bring up.
Yes.
I would have assumed your license plate would have been Ass Man.
Do you know what my license plate is for that car now?
The Bentley?
Yeah. Must you say that?
You're driving it.
Yes. Do you know what it is now?
It's a used Bentley.
It's a used Bentley. But still, it's the whole pretentious of... anyways, do you know what the license plate is?
No.
Vamos Blue.
Go blue.
Yeah, let's go blue.
Vamos blue.
Yeah, vamos blue.
Vamos blue.
Yeah, it's pretty
Nice.
cute. That was actually Lisa's idea.
That is cute.
Yeah, because we
That's
saw
cute.
a bumper sticker from somebody in Ohio that said Vamos Azul. So
Yeah,
let's
sure.
go blue in Spanish.
Yeah.
So we got out of the car and they were getting out of their car. I was like, hey, great bumper sticker. She's like, oh, she's like, in this state, I got to be a little careful. And
Yeah.
I think
it's
she made
BLU, right? Yours is BLU.
mine's VM. Yeah, it's BLU. Yes.
BLU. Vamos
yeah.
blue.
So anyways, and so Lisa's like, no, you should do something like that for your car. I was like, oh, it's not a bad idea because I never have vanity plates and all that stuff. And
Not ass man.
not ass man. But anyhow.
Yeah, I anything they ever put out about OJ, I've watched all of it.
Oh,
Did
I still read articles. To
Did
this
you
day.
see the documentary about the civil trial?
Yes.
Wasn't that incredible too?
I mean, he was.
And how the people in the civil trial, they already knew that like what's the first trial called? Not civil, but
criminal.
criminal. They knew how bad those jurors fucked up. And they're like, do I think he committed this crime? Is like, he cut her head off.
Yeah.
Like off.
Oh yeah.
Mutilated parts
You
of her
can see
body.
the pictures. If you Google it, you'll see the pictures. The show did a very good job.
Which one?
The People versus OJ. It was
Yeah.
based on a book, The Run of His Life.
Hmm.
Jeffrey Toobin or something like that. It's a great book, but it talks about all these things, and it's like, oh my god, this is incredible.
Yeah, so the civil trial, there was a documentary on it from HBO or something maybe years ago.
Maybe I didn't see that one then.
Oh, you didn't?
Maybe I did not.
Oh, yeah, and they were just talking to the jurors and how like, yeah, we weren't going to let him slide on this one. We knew what the hell, we knew they screwed up.
$33.5 million
Went to whom?
to the Goldmans and the Browns.
Did I use whom correctly there?
It's following preposition, use whom.
Oh,
To whom. So yes, you did
to
it right.
whom?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's the rule. Isn't that the rule? I was not an English major.
So that's how, or at least part of that, maybe he had to liquidate like some of his valuables.
Yeah, and then so they've gotten $500,000 so far.
Oh,
Of the money, because so people don't know this about pensions and 401ks. Those are untouchable by creditors. And then he moved to Florida because he wanted to make sure his house could never get seized. Because in Florida they have the Homestead Act, which means your house cannot be seized for creditors and all that stuff.
oh.
So
He has to make money and then give it to them?
Yes.
So he just doesn't.
Yeah, like the book was a big thing. Well, no, he still does it, but there's rumors that he gets cash for things and stuff like that he doesn't report.
So then he did then he got a group of goons together to seize those people and somehow get his memorabilia back
Yeah, at the
at a hotel or casino.
in Vegas, the Palace. What's the name of the casino? We were at a deposition in Vegas for our big insurance lawsuit, which you've heard about, and I'm staying at the window looking out, and I was like, wait, that's the hotel that OJ held people up in. It was the
I love staying at Excalibur.
I've never stayed there.
The castle?
Is it bad?
It just hasn't been changed since 1974. None of it. I mean,
I'm trying to remember the name. It begins with a P, not Palace. I got to look this up now because it's going to drive me nuts.
where OJ, anyway, so OJ went in there and he had guns and he went into the room where these people were and demanded his memorabilia back. And they said, we're leaving.
Palace Station. Thank you.
What is it? What is it?
Palace Station
I've
Hotel.
never heard of it.
It's out on the strip.
Oh,
It's
okay.
off the strip. And I remember I was literally sitting in the room. We were talking to the mediator. I stood up, looked out the window, and I was just like, hey, that's the hotel that OJ did his, hold on. I was like amazed by this whole thing.
Yeah.
And then it was recorded.
Yeah, it was
and the reason
recorded.
he was charged with kidnapping is because he said nobody's allowed to leave.
Yeah, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah. How much time did he serve?
9 years, nine
That
and a half.
long?
Yeah, 30. He was sent. It was he got convicted 13 years to the day, or 14 years to the day he got acquitted of the other trial. Isn't that weird?
Wow. Do you think, if he's gone this far, like you're on your deathbed, you finally say what you did or...
So, I had this idea. Why doesn't he go to HBO and say, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to go to the Browns and the Simpsons, and I'm going to say to them, guys, I'm never going to pay you. But HBO will interview me for $50 million. I'll give you guys half. I'll take the other half. I'm going to say something that's going to be shocking. But let me do it. I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to say, knowing full well that it's basically going to be an on-air confession.
Man, it's heavy just saying it.
But the thing to me is, like, how many people believe he did it? It's like 80%. It's some high number.
Yeah.
So what are you really doing? At least then he can sit there and say, I gave the Browns and Simpsons a big check of money. Yeah, I got my own money, but you guys agreed to a settlement. I'm not going to pay you guys the full, because now that $33.5 million is like $50-some million, $60 million. I mean, it's with interest and everything, it's got to be really high. I heard somewhere it was like $100 million. I don't think it's that much, but the whole point is, go do this, save face. Everybody's like, okay, he finally admitted to it, and now you get to live. I mean, what is he? He's 70,
80?
72, 71 now. So at least he gets to live the next 10, 15 years of his life with a really good lifestyle. And it sucks because now you get, but the reason he's not going to do it is his kids. He murdered their mother. I mean, they probably believe he did not do it. I mean, maybe they don't. I have no idea.
I think that was a running in the show that that was a running thing. The kids believed him, right?
Well, his kids from his previous wife. I'm talking about the kids, Justin and whatever from Justin and Sydney from Nicole Brown.
Oh, what are their thoughts?
I think I've heard that they don't believe he did it.
Huh.
They live in Florida. Justin's in real estate.
Florida.
Yeah, Florida.
What, do you know this cat?
No, listen, I'm telling you, I'm obsessed with this kid. Even back then, I remember my mother saying to me, like, why are you so obsessed with this? I'm like, I don't know. It's like the biggest fall of grace from anybody in like the history of sports. Like, I didn't know who he was when the thing first happened. Did you?
Well, wait a minute, no. When I was a kid, I actually loved watching the Naked Gun movies.
By the way, that's how I knew. I knew who he was in that sense. I didn't know anything about his
football career.
Football career, because he ended in like 79 or 80 or 81. I mean, it was when we were born. But I knew him as, oh, that's the guy from the movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I look at it and go, and for some reason I'm infatuated with it because I feel like there's to see the different racial reactions when the trial occurred and to watch the video.
Yeah, I think that's all gone by the wayside now, right? After it's all,
More people, even on both races, more people. I remember Mr. Howison from high school. Remember him? He was our English teacher. He was getting arguments with kids saying he didn't do it. Like, people would be like, close to that. It's IE, I think.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why you wrote that down.
Gary Howison?
Was his name Gary? Yeah, probably.
Okay. Go ahead.
I don't know. Yeah. He would like argue with kids and yell at them. And like, I've heard once he threw something because he insisted there's no way OJ did it. Like, literally, like, and he's a white guy and said like there's no way it happened. But it was very racially divided, obviously. And when you watch the video of people, like literally whites and blacks in the same room together, and the whites are just like, what the hell? And the black people are like, yeah, F yeah, he didn't do it.
Dancing on cars. Yeah.
The thing to me that was impressive was like, he literally did not care about the black community at all. I mean, he literally became a white person essentially, but it was taken as either way. I'm still obsessed with it. I still to this day read every month about it.
Huh.
A few years ago, they were doing work at the house that he had. They were demolishing it, and they said they found a knife, and they were getting forensic.
I saw that article.
And I remember they asked OJ he was in jail at the time. They said, "What do you think if this all of a sudden happens?" And he goes, "Would they just stop caring about this? Like, they're not going to find the knife." Meanwhile, the knife wasn't the one. And his head is like, "Yeah, they're not going to find the knife because that's not where I put it." You know what I mean? He's probably like that's not, like that's not, why do they keep looking for this thing? It's just,
where did he put it? The timeline was so tight. I mean, he had to go get on the airplane.
I do believe that he dumped it in an airplane trash can of some sort. He had to have. There was talk of he threw it in the airplane, like down the. Imagine you just committed murder, and you go on an airplane flight. What do you think in your head? Have you ever? Let me ask you this question. You knew when you were a kid you did something wrong, and you're like, they're gonna figure this out. It's just a matter of before like I get figured out.
Yeah.
When I say something like you took cookies from the cookie jar you should have taken, or you took whatever it was, like you took your dad's I don't know, whatever it was, and you're like, I'm gonna get. But imagine you committed murder, and you're like, all right, well that wasn't really a good idea. So I'm on this plane flight now, flying to Chicago, and there's people on this plane flight, and they're probably like, oh cool, look, there's OJ Simpson. Meanwhile, they have no idea that he literally within the last 2 hours just killed 2 people, sliced and diced them.
Yeah.
That's why because the whole thing just is just incredible to me.
Was his blood at the scene?
Oh yeah. His blood was at the scene. Everybody's blood was everywhere. Bronco, his house, and at the scene of the crime, everybody's blood was everywhere.
How is this not a
slam dunk? The lady witnessed him. He veered off the street, said, "Get out of my way," or whatever, and she got his license plate number within a digit right in a white Ford Bronco.
Ah.
The guy, the limo driver pulls up. There's no white Bronco. limo driver goes around the property. All of a sudden, there's a white Bronco, and he sees a big guy climbing a fence and walking into the house.
Oh.
Did you not watch the show? I mean, this is maybe because I'm so obsessed with it. It's just like literally, it's unbelievable how I'm obsessed with it. I literally read every month about it. I'll be like, what's OJ up to? Like, let me go see if there's any other news about OJ.
Oh, you like seeing what he's currently up to?
Oh, even the past stuff. I like looking for more evidence. Like, what other things did we not hear about? Like, because that lady with the whole seeing OJ flee the scene, that didn't enter because she sold her story to hard copy for $5,000. So the prosecution was like, nope, we can't put her on the stand because she'll get discredited in a matter of seconds.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. The funny part is, I have read stories about people saying what a generous man OJ was like, but he just like lost it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I've actually listened to the interrogation tapes. He's so evasive. Like, oh, what time? I mean, the show did a good job of saying like, oh, what time was it? I don't know, 6, 7, 8 o'clock, something like that. I mean, literally like all of it. And the cops did nothing to like try to get him to stick to a story. Like literally.
It's amazing.
It's incredible.
Did you watch that Michael Jackson?
I did not. I don't have HBO.
You know, you can get HBO for like $15 a month.
That's not the issue.
You just flip it on your phone.
I know, but here's the thing. It's only $15 a month. But I look at it going, I'm gonna use it twice every year.
No. You can turn it off after a month. You can turn it on for a month, watch whatever you want, and turn it off.
Oh, really?
You can watch all the shows. You can watch every Game of Thrones episode and turn it off.
I don't watch Game of Thrones.
I don't either. I stopped after a few seasons ago. But
anyways, the Neverland.
Anyway,
I've heard it's crazy.
Oh my God.
I've heard it's nuts.
I mean, I have a child that's a 9-year-old now, so like a lot of people a lot of the victims say it never hit them until they had children and see like what a 7-year-old looks like and how vulnerable they are. And so I tell people this: if you want to hear a Michael Jackson song for the rest of time and feel really creepy and bad about it, then watch the show. But if you want to just enjoy Beat It for what it is, like if you're in the mall, it's like ding 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 ding, then just don't watch the show and you can just jam away. But if you watch the show and Thriller comes on around Halloween, you're just gonna like get sick to your stomach.
So this is the double standard for celebrities. Roman Polanski, you know, the guy had sex with a 13-year-old girl, and all these celebrities are like, come on, he's done it. He went to France. He's been gone for 30 years. Forgive the guy. If that was some average Joe living in a trailer park who had sex with a 13-year-old girl, what would we be saying about him? Lock that motherfucker up. That guy's, you know, it's just like give him the key, give him the chair. It's like we have a different standard for celebrities than we do for everybody else.
Yeah. They're more important to us.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Roman Polanski literally fled and stayed in France. So he doesn't get extradited to the U.S. for having sex with a 13-year-old girl.
The celebration of the acquittal of OJ, and like people were dancing on cars when they, you know, acquitted Michael Jackson. It's like that's how much they loved him. In fact, some of the victims, you'll see when you watch it, some of the victims, when he got tried, Michael Jackson, for later down the road, some of the victims who had then been in their mid-20s, they were vouching for him.
What?
Yes. They were vouching for him. Vouching?
Yeah.
What did I say? Vouching?
Vouching. I don't know what a vouch is.
I don't either. Voucher.
Yeah.
They were vouching for him, even though they went through the same thing.
Why?
They were saying as children, they thought that's what being loved was. So they thought that if my mom loved Michael Jackson as much as our whole family said they did, that when he did these things to these children, he thought that's what they just grew up. It started so young.
This is the documentary?
Dude, you got to watch this shit. It's fucking insane. They thought that's what love is. So he was loving me, and it felt great.
Now, I will say this.
Mm-hmm.
There is no doubt in my mind that there are some accusations that are false that they just did for money. Because whenever something like that happens, there are going to be the people who just go, and I'm going to say this because I know Michael Jackson makes, you know, $120 million, 300. Like in the 80s, he was making $100 million a year, right? So what's $10 million or what's $5 million or what's $20 million, whatever. But I can't believe people were like justifying it. The ones who experienced it. Wow.
Yeah, they went to trial and spoke on his behalf. How somehow he wasn't doing this to other, I don't understand. And then, so the same people who they're documenting about this happening to them, there's videos of them in the 90s or whenever the hell this happened, early 2000, I can't remember, like of them like saying how innocent he was on trial.
Innocent?
Yeah.
They're acknowledging they had sex with them or that he molested them, right?
Now, like it finally came around like, oh shit, like, I don't know. You got to watch it, man. He finally came around like having a child. That's what he said. Like having a child and seeing what a 7-year-old is and then remembering what he did to him. Like now he started realizing how wrong it was. Manipulative he was. I mean, dude, he would call kids on different continents and then he would spend 3 years just manipulating the parents so that the kids could sleep over at the Neverland Ranch. Hey, just drop them off here.
What do you mean manipulating? Like what was being said?
Like he starts with the whole family. He gets mom and dad to fall in love with him as a person. Comes, well, I'll spend all this money. Let's go on these trips. Let's do all this stuff. And then once he was a part of the family, Michael's coming over. We treated him as a brother, as a friend. Once he was a part of the family, then it wasn't that crazy for a 30-year-old guy to be like, oh, yeah, just leave your 8-year-old with me for the weekend. We'll just party and have fun. We'll play all these rides. And then at nighttime, it was the sex palace in there all over the house. Like these crazy hidden rooms of sex palaces. It's insane. While he was on trial for these accusations, he was doing it at night with children.
Oh boy.
You gotta listen, you go to iTunes, you fire up HBO Now, and you just watch it, man, and then we'll talk about it. So you thought OJ was in depth.
Did we talk about that one documentary on Netflix? What was that one documentary called? Anybody know?
The Push?
No, not The Push. The one where the whole family got completely like brainwashed by the one guy. He had sex with the mom. He had the dad. What was it?
Yeah.
He had sex with the mom. He had sex with a 13-year-old girl, and he also got the father to give him a hand job in the car.
Yes. And so he had the mom fall in love with him, the dad fall in love with him just to get to that girl. I'm trying to think what that was called.
What was it called? But I remember we were watching it. We were really like,
yeah,
like floor, like jaw to floor going, this is getting weirder and weirder every single time. The guy's like, so we went into the field and we're talking, and the guy goes, hey, I'm pretty horny right now. Why don't you jerk me off? And I jerked him off. And I'm like,
yeah.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that dude committed his whole life to like having sex with a 12-year-old.
But it's, oh my God. Like, you think to yourself, like, I would never be like that, right? But then The Push, same thing. Like, oh, I would never push that person off the building.
Yeah.
But they got people to push the people off the building. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Dude, it's insane.
That's what I look at. I go, I'm interested in what causes these things to actually happen. Like, what gets these weirdos? Like you said, he thought he was going to get away with it. Like, did OJ do this going, it's okay, I'll get away with it? But at some point, the feeling of anger is so intense that you're like, I don't care. You're not even thinking about it. Are they not even thinking about it? Like, do they not even think, oh, there's going to be repercussions for this? They're just like, I'm just going to do this. Like, he grew up in not a great area, but after the age of 20, he was basically, or 18, he was basically a god at USC.
Yeah. Well, that's the difference. You know, you said like something of passion when it involves love and your spouse cheating on you.
I was quoting the movie.
Yeah. But I mean, that can trigger something. But like
for sure.
Something like this Michael Jackson thing or that documentary we're talking about, like this is like carefully calculated manipulation of people over years and years and years. And then he'd get a new kid, and then the current kids would start seeing the new kid, and they'd get, and then now that, wait, I'm not loved anymore, and many, many lives are ruined.
So Macaulay Culkin said he was never molested, right?
He did, yeah. That's correct, what you're saying. He still stands by that. But a lot of other kids, yeah. And there's evidence. I mean, there's housekeepers, and there's secret rooms, and
what do the housekeepers say?
Like exactly what you'd think. They would open up and see both of them engaging in stuff. Like, yeah. It's fun. I can't believe you didn't watch this, bro.
Well, it's the whole HBO thing.
Like I said, if you want to enjoy Michael Jackson's music, which
Black or White is one of my favorite songs of all time.
You better not watch. Because I'll just be like strolling through the mall, and you just hear like "Man in the Mirror," and you're like, "Uh-oh."
Oh God.
HBO documentaries. They do a good job, though. I would love to be on a set for filming some sort of awesome documentary, like The Staircase, or you saw that on Netflix, right?
No, what's The Staircase?
Fuck, bro. I've been watching too much TV.
What am I doing wrong?
On Netflix, The Staircase. You never seen that?
No, what is it?
Oh, it was just a story about a husband and wife who had a beautiful life. And next thing you know, he says she fell down a set of stairs, cracked her head open, and then everyone else says it was blunt force trauma. He beat her head in. I can't believe you didn't watch that.
I did not.
And it just goes the whole trial back and forth about what happened and how it happened.
The Staircase. I will look it up.
Staircase.
Netflix.
Well, just to let everyone know, this is an investor in business podcast.
But here's the thing. I've always been from day one.
Tell me about it, Paul.
I've always wanted to have regular conversations. I've always wanted to have regular conversations with you and not just be always about the same thing and money and all that, blah, 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 blah. I want it to be like, these are the things that interest me. And I think it says a lot about the thought process about investing as well. Like, I'm really immersed. I'd love to. I want to see OJ do an interview in which he said, yes, this is what exactly happened. Yeah. This is why I did it. Because that day, this and this happened and it triggered me and it got me so pissed. I said to myself, okay, I just got to end her life. And this poor Ron Goldman guy happened to walk by and he was caught in the middle of it.
Gosh.
But that would never happen.
Crazier things.
His old friend, Ron Shipp, OJ's old friend, says that he thinks OJ will admit to it someday.
Wow.
I don't believe that. Because at the end of the day, it's still the same person who can commit murder as the same person who can be so brainwashed into believing everybody's going to believe you that you did not commit the murder.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You got a lot of freckles.
I know. My kid's getting them now.
I like freckles.
I didn't know. I got freckles like all over me now. I mean, my whole life.
When you get those tattoos, were those freckles all there?
They're always here.
Well, I don't know. They came, and are they the same? You said my kids are getting freckles now, right?
Well, kids develop in their freckles. Their baby skin doesn't. I don't think any kids are born with freckles. They come out. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Tim, don't you think that? I'm pretty sure. I mean, yeah, freckles come in. Like they come in. My kid is getting them like across the bridge of his nose into his cheeks, and then Gio, the older one, is now getting them like all over his body.
I think they're adorable.
Yeah, I don't notice them. But they're on me. But then I look at someone else's arm, like, where are your freckles?
I think I have a couple freckles here somewhere.
Yeah. I was gonna have Gio in on the podcast today.
Oh, why didn't you?
What would we talk about?
I don't know.
But it would be hilarious.
Gio just gets so bored with us and start playing with stuff.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for joining us. Hire Paul to help your business.
And to help you get away with murder.
Because listen to the last podcast about how he's helping my business is freaking incredible.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.